Hello, and welcome, my Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your twin flame read for, timeless, but July into August 2020 has been a busy morning. I am your reader, Mark Angelo, Lyons, Mel for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, and pretty much one of the busier mystics on planet Earth, considering what we're going through. My subscribers, thank you so much for your support. I mean, being able to take a break from clients and, people come to your door with strange stuff, so to speak, when you're a professional witch, and I don't mean to my literal door, I mean, online and whatnot. So that's why I only put out one video yesterday, because the day got busy. That being said, I really can't thank you enough for your support. My Cancerians, my mom is a Cancerian, and I'm driving up to see her in a couple of weeks. We were supposed to do it next weekend, but it's Luke Nassad, and I have duties here as the witch that I am, so I miss her terribly, so it's really an honor to be serving Cancerians in general. Now, if you are new to my channel, please do consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel. You can tell I'm a sweetheart already, right? Hit the notification bell. I'm going to be streaming more. Definitely, we've got some magic coming up this coming Friday night. Ooh, waxing moon in Libra on Friday. Sounds like love magic night to me. But we'll see how the cards fall, right? Otherwise, feel free to comment below, and let's get down to business. This is a general read, right? A general twin flame contract read for the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. A twin flame contract is a soul contract, as is a soulmate contract, but they're different. Soulmates are satisfying. You help each other heal. It can be any shape or form, family member, lover, all that jazz. So obviously you have more than one. Twin flame, same concept in the sense that, you have many of them in one lifetime. You don't just have one. They can be in any shape or form, lover, friend, family, co-worker, boss. But the difference is you teach each other how to heal yourselves. You teach each other how to love yourselves, usually by not being able to give each other the love that you want to give them, or they and vice versa, right? So they're tricky, they're turbulent, they're often very traumatic, but you need lots of twin flame relationships to learn to become the mate of your own soul, learning to love yourself, heal yourself, respect boundaries, all that stuff. And that's what brings in higher levels of soulmates, you becoming the mate of your own soul, and you just need let's just say a poo-ton of twin flamers for that. So that's why we're going to look at this contract. We're not doing divine masculine, divine feminine, at least not for a while, right? The guides totally changed the spread. It's a 16-card spread. It's going around 50 minutes or so. You will be on this side, my Cancerian Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. The twin will be on this side, so there's no bouncing back and forth, although you may mirror each other in certain things. And then we will have a center lane here for the overall contract itself involving both of you. Cool. All I can ask you to do is focus on your breath. Be in the present moment as much as you can, so you can feel what resonates and leave what does not, and also check your other signs, because like I said, you have more than one twin flame read. So if this isn't the romantic sexual one that everybody wants to know about, check your other signs, just saying, right? Because we can have many twin flame contracts operating simultaneously. All right, ready to rock and roll? Let's do this. All the decks that I read are in the description box in the bottom. Always give credit where credit is due. We're going to start with 2 of the Caroline Mace archetype cards to start us off, and we'll build from there. Breathe. Oh, here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved in the ascended masters of twin flame contracts in particular. I need 2 cards. 1 for the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign in this particular twin flame contract, and 1 for the twin that they're in the contract with. So please, 1 for the Cancerian, July, August 2020 are timeless, right? The timeless read if you need it to be, and 1 for their twin in this contract. Now, these are archetype cards. They're neutral, though they may not sound neutral. Sometimes they will feel really negative, sometimes really positive, some are very neutral. And interesting, the ones that you got, just remember neutral means a balance of positive, negative, light, and dark, and the whole point of healing is to raise things up to a fifth dimensional unity consciousness, where you get to the true soul power that you're you can tell I'm stalling, can't you? That you are developing in this particular life, in this particular relationship. So you've got the Samaritan archetype in your twin, the gambler. Now the Samaritan, let's just say that's got a very specific scriptural reference, right? The good Samaritans, they're people from Samara, right? It wasn't like there was just one of them, right? So the shadow attribute, the lead that you're actually learning how to heal within yourself, is exacting appreciation and recognition for the help you offer, right? Where the good Samaritan would be what we consider the light archetype, refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. Do you feel that? It's very Cancerian, right? Taking in the strays, as it were, the rejects from the world, the island of lost broken toys, whatever that was. Hey, I relate, because I've been one of them broken toys. I was raised by a Cancerian mother, though. So, exacting appreciation and recognition for the help that you offer. Well, I do and I do and I do for you. It is a Cancerian trait. Trust me, I know. I've had Cancerian women my entire life. Lifetime case of crabs, and I don't regret a second. But what you're dealing with here is the gambler archetype. Now, I'm not going to come right out and say bad boy, because this could be any gender, right? It could be any way, shape, or form. This doesn't necessarily mean this is romantic off the bat. This already feels like it could be parent-child, maybe not mother-child, maybe father-child. But the Samaritan is a divine family archetype. So you are developing a divine soul power, as opposed to the gambler, which, though incredibly intuitive in its power, is part of the wild card family, I believe. There are 9 different families of archetypes. Oh no, this is the action family. Thank you, Carl Jung. Spirit guides, gotta love him. It's good to have Wi-Fi in the ground chakra. So let me read you this one, right? So how the gambler archetype takes action in the action family. The shadow, relying on luck rather than hard work, which are just like, are you out of your mind, right? The light attribute, willingness to follow intuition, even when others doubt you. So look, in the light, you two could be of great service to each other. Kind of feels more like you're helping them and they're taking the risk that they need to take that might benefit you. But it feels like in a twin flame, we're looking at more of the shadow material, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 different tarot decks. We're going to take the Daughters of the Moon Tarot for you, my Cancerians, and we're going to take the Mythic Tarot, and we're going to layer on top of these archetypes fire, earth, air, water, spirit, a basic element spread, just to kind of get your energy, like your party number 1, their party number 2. Let's get a little more definition, and we'll see what happens. Breathe. My gods and goddesses, sacred, please. 5 cards, I'll pull them one at a time. Element spread for this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign Samaritan archetype in this twin flame contract with this gambler archetype. Can you please give me a nice clear element spread? First of all, what does this Cancerian Samaritan want in this twin flame contract? That's the element of fire, element of earth. What does this Cancerian Samaritan have, the fuel to help them get what they want in this contract? Element of air, what is this Cancerian thinking predominantly about this contract? And what is this Cancerian Samaritan feeling about this contract predominantly? And what is the voice or the point of view of the soul who signed the contract in the first place? The personality has no clue about this stuff. So what is the point of view or the voice, the guidance, the grace from the soul who actually signed the contract? Now I'm going to flip those over in a minute, but first I want to do the same for your twin, this gambler, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip over both your fires at the same time and then keep going. It's just more fun that way. The guide suggested it. They're so neat. Thank you, Pamela Coleman Smith. Breathe. Okay, here we go. My God, same thing for the twin in this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract. July into August 2020 are timeless for this gambler, please. What is it that this gambler wants? Their element of fire in this contract. How about what they have, the fuel, the element of earth, to help them get what they want in this contract? What about what is this gambler twin thinking predominantly about this contract? Thank you. What is this gambler feeling, considering there's such an intuitive piece here with the gambler? That made me sit back a little bit. I feel that. Something, they're feeling it. They're feeling it. They're feeling it. And what is the point of view of the soul of this gambler archetype, the one who actually agreed to and signed the contract? For this timeless June-July twin flame readerino. Ready? And just go to get them a little bit more symmetrical. All right, there we go. Element of fire, what do you both want? Aww, so cute. You want the Ace of Cups, happiness, and they want the Star. They want their dreams to come true. They want their wish to be fulfilled. Now, that's wonderful, except twin flames, usually you don't manifest that within this relationship, but you're learning that this is what you want. Twin flames burn, right? Sometimes too hot not to cool down. Like I have had some twin flamers that I really thought were going to be forever and ever, but they weren't because I was still cookie dough. Now I'm a cookie. I'm a Pepperidge Farm. Wait, which one? I'm a Nantucket, honey. I'm a bag of Nantuckets, right? So we have to go through that alchemical process of growth and maturity through our relationships on the path of true love. So, they might have stars in their eyes where you are concerned and you're kind of feeling, but this is good. Like, I'm happy. I want, or at least you want to be happy. You're getting very, very clear. Maybe you're not so happy if you have been playing this role of the Samaritan to a gambler. Now, again, nothing immediately screams here. I know I said that they've got stars in their eyes for you, but that just means that there are hopes that there is definitely a spiritual connection here. Just because it's twin flame doesn't mean it's going to work out the way you want, but there are lessons to be learned. But they have great hope for this. They want things to work out, and that's why this could very easily be family member or friend. Let's keep going. There are cards in these decks that will call it out if it needs to be called out. What is the element of earth? Okay. Well, you've got Hecate, the Scorpio card. Now, that could mean certainly you have your own Scorpio elements. Check your planets. I'm going to say if you got something in Scorpio, that's the easiest place to go. Maybe there's someone in your life already who is a Scorpio, or maybe this person is a Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. To me, the zodiac is not as important in terms of tarot, at least, and this is just me. Like everybody else, it's an art. You do you. But I'm looking at Hecate here, one of my goddesses, the goddess of witches, the goddess of the crone at the crossroads, right? Decisions about money, sex, and power, other people's resources, right? Mysticism, the occult, the hidden, the secret, and often the repressed as well. So there might be an indication here for you to really fix water, focus your attention on your emotions, or in terms of your own intuition, because if something feels off, something is off. And I get that you're refining your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore, and maybe you would rather ignore what this person is doing just to be comfortable around them, but certainly do not ignore what's going on in your own gut. Oh, that was clear, huh? Because what they got is the Lovers. They're facing a life-changing decision right now that they have to make. Now, does the Lovers card and the Star immediately suggest a romantic connection here? Some readers would say yes. But I want to see what else hits the table before I definitely call this a purely sexual romantic read, because I could just as easily see this as somebody who is in at least a parental or an authority role, right? Doesn't have to be family, and dealing with like someone in the family, or even a boss and a coworker triggering each other, right? Where there's a real decision in place here and you're trying to help them, you would rather not have to. But there's real lessons going on here. And by the way, I got two major arcana cards down here. So the twin is actually going through some pretty major spiritual transitional stuff. Find that right word. Element of air, which I'll thinking predominantly. All right. So, sorry, did my eyes roll back in my head? I can roll my third eye too. There, did you see it? you got the Pisces card here. So there's a lot of water going on here, considering you're a Cancerian, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. You got the Scorpio and the Pisces card. I would say you're a little emotionally invested here, or at least in terms of your mental field, you're really examining, thinking about your feelings. And I'm going to say, if you can get that there is a difference between emotion and intuition, that sometimes the heart says one thing, the head says another. That's tricky enough in terms of making a decision in the throat chakra, willpower, choice. But when the heart says, ah, and the gut says, ugh, right, that's harder to me. Oh, I'm an earth sign though. So really pay attention to your intuition, even if it comes down to making it an intellectual focus. Like, why do I feel this way? Now, there's only so much an intellectual inquiry is going to go. At some point, you are going to have to really go into the crossroads, go into the interior world, the inner world, if not the underworld. I prefer to call it the underworld, with the Scorpio card in particular. But now let's see. They've got the Page of Swords. So they are either thinking about communicating, really communicating. Pages are the immature elements, and I don't mean childish, I mean immature, like an acorn is an immature oak tree. So they might be learning a lot in terms of how they are communicating. I mean, the pages are communicators anyway, but element of air. This is Aeolus, which I know, Kevin Zorba flashback there. But we're really looking at that there is communication going on here, but it might be immature and maybe not all so very reliable is the word I'm getting there. Yeah. What's going on in the emotional field? This should be interesting. It all is. All right. You so don't know what to do with this. You've got the Two of Flames. You're juggling, well, I want to do this, but I want to do that. Well, I want to be free to do, but I don't want to leave them out. So you don't want to leave them out in the cold. You don't want to harm them. You do see their innocence. You do see that they're growing, this twin. But you are very I would say, if not emotional, you sound emotional. I was told I'm a Pisces moon. Growing up, I heard that you sound sensitive. Well, that may be true. But if your alarm bells are going off, I could understand the indecisive part of it, because there might be only so much you can do about what this person chooses or decides to do. But I'll tell you, I don't think they've made the decision yet, at least not at the moment of this reading. But their hopes, but you know, they want the best, they want the highest. So I don't feel like their intentions are horrible, but their emotions are the Five of Swords. So they may not be communicating anything but their own emotional conflict right now. So it's really important that, look, if there's a cross-watcher watching this and you identify as this gambler in this relationship with this Samaritan, I get really wanting to act on your intuition even when others doubt you. I mean, being a professional witch with purple hair on YouTube, starting my own company in 1998, all of that's great, big, huge risk, but I had to do it. It was part of my soul contract to come in and do. But I really try not to act on my emotions when they are in conflict, particularly like the Five of Swords. It can be totally about you've had arguments between the two of you, or there have been words between the two of you, and maybe things were said that weren't, well, maybe not so much regrettable. Like, I don't feel like this gambler archetype wants any harm done here, but has a big decision to make here, and maybe the communication wasn't as clear or as, and they're giving me the word, mature as it could have been. So there's probably a misunderstanding here between the two of you, but that's twin flames in a nutshell, right? So speaking of Eggcorn, right? So let's see, what's the point of view of the soul, the voice of the soul, and here's the Eggcorn card, the Ace of Pentacles. I always use the Eggcorn as the potential of the Ace of Pentacles, that as the Eggcorn turns into an oak tree, it sheds billions of Eggcorns in its lifetime, or you can crack it under your heel, or you can feed it to a squirrel, right? It ends up squirrel poo. So the point of view of the soul here, wait till you see what they got, is a new beginning, right? A new potential, saying that there is potential here for the new. And keep in mind, you got the Ace of Cups here too, but you know what they've got? They've got the Ace of Cups too. So there is a new beginning of love here. And I'm going to say it again. Aside from the imagery of this Lover's card, nothing here is screaming romantic sexual. At this point, were I not to lay down any more cards on the table, we got 4 more left. And those have plenty of opportunities to say if this is romantic sexual. I am going to say that this feels awfully like parent and child. Particularly because there are other people involved here, right? You're the only one, Cancerian, you've got that Scorpio and that Pisces card, so it does feel like you're sharing this information with people, maybe the other parent or a family member of some kind, or it could be in a corporate office situation, you know what I mean? It just seems a lot of people involved on this one, but this one feels like they're going out on a limb, and I don't feel like this is a bad person. I don't believe in bad people. I don't really necessarily believe in good people either. I believe in people, souls that incarnate to play different roles and learn different things. I'm going to say their intentions are good. They got 2 major arcana cards in their fire and in their earth. They have what they need to pull this off, but it's in the mental, emotional, the psychological part. I'm not saying that they're off, but that the point of view of the soul is saying there is a new opportunity for love here. Real happiness. But maybe for yourselves individually. Right? Maybe not so much together. But don't worry. Like I said, 4 more cards down. We've got half the Chuck Spezzano love pack here, the suit of the problem. Because what's the point of having a twin flame contract if there isn't a problem? There's no alchemy without lead, right? There's no healing without toxicity. So what is it, the problem? Let's ask the Ascended Masters. Breathe. Oh, my Ascended Masters of Twin Flame Contracts. Hi. Can you give us 1 card in clarity, please, for this Cancerian collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Twin Flame Contract, July into August 2020 or timeless. What is the problem? What is the problem that's going on, at least for this time period, for those watching? This card came up, I think, in one of the earlier readings. It might even have been the first one, Aries. Fantasy. Now, I know we get the idea of fantasy as depicted in this card, where the person is laying in a hammock, right, strung to 2 trees with no leaves on them, seems sort of barren, but in their mind, it's all verdant and green and lovely, right? Remember, it can be the other way as well. It can be that there are just some thoughts and beliefs that are not true here, that either things are too rosy or too dark, but definitely not seeing clearly here. There's definitely a... Well, and I'm going to say that might be part of this 5 of Swords in the event, because it feels like there's just a lot of this air going on here for the gambler that might be really scrambling their signals in terms of their intuition. Remember, if the gut is saying no, but the heart is like, oh, that's everything I've ever wanted, and the gut's like, yeah, but that's not it, that's not it. Which one do you think we're going to listen to? All right, a gambler hopefully goes with their gut. So there is some fantasy here, and I don't think it's intentional. Like, I don't think there's necessarily deception going on here. I just think that there's stuff that we carry with us from the past that clouds the third eye. The sacred truth of the third eye is seek only truth. So I would definitely focus on that and check out Anatomy of the Spirit by Carolyn Mace, MYSS. Let's find out, if we've got that as the problem, what is the Doreen Virtue Healing Angel Oracle for that? The angel that's been assigned to your case. Remember, these are contracts. I was raised by a lawyer. Can you tell? Not in the hair. Breathe. Oh, my angels and archangels, please, 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 1 card in clarity for this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract between this Samaritan archetype and this gambler archetype. We see that the masters are saying that there's the problem is fantasy, that something is not as it appears to be, or is believed to be at least. So what is the perfect healing angel that this Aries or the twin can call upon to help themselves heal individually? Something about nature. Now that can be as much as go out in nature, and I'm down for that. I mean, I'm an earth sign. I do like my trees. I need to go swim in the ocean before summer is over. I do it every year. I have to. But this is really, I think, more talking about the nature of things. Like, you really need to call to the angel of nature. It's like, can you show me the nature of what this is? In other words, there's a certain pattern that replicates itself in the nature of relationships, and the nature of twin flames, maybe in the nature of your own personality or your experience going on here, so that you can see clearly. There's a wonderful mantra in the Matt Kahn healing mantra deck, and I use it a lot because I use it for clairvoyance, if you will. I'm willing to see things clearly no matter the outcome. I forget, dismantling illusion, I think it is, whatever the name of it is. But I do recommend that. Like, are you willing to see things clearly no matter the outcome? Right? That will dissolve fantasy, but maybe not all at once. Oh, and I will say, you've got the Pisces card in the element of air. I can't believe I didn't see that. Very prone to fantasy mentally. Make sure, look, there's a difference between emotional thinking and emotional intelligence. Oh, that was good. Stitch that on a pillow. I want a t-shirt, a visor, and a sticker from my fridge. Let's keep going. Call upon the angel of nature, really, even if it just grounds you, right? Gives you more of a sense of stability here, recharges your battery, but also really look at what is the true nature here that I'm not seeing. Let's ask the higher selves of all involved through the Whispers of Love Oracle, right? What is the whisper of love, the insight, the guidance, and grace from the fifth dimensional and above selves of all involved? Breathe. Oh, that feels good. Higher selves of all involved, please, one card in clarity for this Cancerian collective. That feels good. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, sign twin flame contract, July into August 2020, or timeless between this Samaritan, Cancerian Samaritan, and this gambler twin. What is the piece of insight, inspiration, information, guidance, and grace, or grace, I should say, that you have for this twin flame contract? I love you. These are very important words. It's the same thing on both sides. That's why I know exactly what card it is the second I look at it. I love you. These are very important words. I'm not going to say it completely cements this as a familial thing. This is not somebody that you can walk away from, and because it's somebody you might want to ignore, like a family member, feels like you just can't. You can't. And you do love them. It's just that there are some things floating in the air, not necessarily through a glass darkly, although I might have said that before. But the truth is obscured. And I don't feel like it's deliberately obscured. Like, I'm not feeling deception here. Nor am I feeling like out and out delusion. But there are some fantasies in place. Sometimes we paint pictures from how we've always wanted things to be, but may not be so. But it doesn't matter. I love you. These are very important words. There is love here. Look, my dad and I were twin flame contract. He loved me. He was just never going to respect me as a gay man. He died when I was the summer between high school and college. A great time of growing up. Big transition. A lot of kids on the planet could understand that right now. But, that's why I went into healing, right? My dad was crazy. Everybody thinks their dad was crazy. My dad was crazy. Yeah. Well, he wanted a Republican, Catholic, heterosexual. Didn't get it. Oopsie. So let's get your last card down. The Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn, right? What is the perfect healing mantra? And it doesn't matter who's watching this. Family's tricky, ain't it? That's why you incarnate with them, so it's really hard to get away. You may want to ignore them, right? So from the Ascended Masters who gave us this card of fantasy, let's find out what your healing mantra is, whether it's the gambler watching this or the Samaritan. Breathe. And they're telling me to clarify, don't be surprised if you find yourself on both parts of the board here. That's why you're learning how to love yourself. It's sort of that mirror, but it's not always an exact mirror. Sometimes it's what's called the mirror of judgment. It's not how you are. It's what you judge in somebody that they're mirroring back to your own judgment. My Ascended Masters of Twin Flame Contracts, please. Last card down, and then we'll do the overview. One card in clarity for this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs in their Twin Flame contracts, July to August, into August 2020, or timeless. What is their perfect healing mantra that they've really needed to incorporate to make this contract fulfilled and completed? Integrating the ego. This is a good one. Well, it's good for anything. Integrating the ego. Everything is for me, not against me. Everything is for me, not against me. And I will say very easy to memorize that one. But let me read it from the book so that you get Matt's take on what that means. H-I... How did I skip it? It's alphabetical. Integrating the ego. Everything is for me, not against me. When your ego is integrated, there are no problems to fix or questions to answer. There are just the aligned responses of the soul's reality, acknowledging life as fertile ground where greater expansion is revealed, right? So it's a very neutral place, right? As you integrate your ego, every moment can be seen to be conspiring for your highest evolution instead of plotting against you, right? So that's the thing. We all have defense mechanisms. How do you not, growing up in this world, right? The conditioning that we pick up along the way. And I do feel like that's probably part of what this fantasy stuff is, whether it's, the happy or the not so happy side of the fantasy here. But that you're able to look at this, that even this is helping me grow. Everything changes. Everything is going to change us, whether we like it or not. And you don't have to like it, is the point. Integrating the ego doesn't mean you have to like what's going on. You're just getting that this is happening for me, not to me, right? Everything is for me, not against me. So this mantra is ideal for overcoming victimhood. I'm kind of feeling that there. Being more grateful and becoming more forgiving. And maybe the real kind of forgiving, the kind of forgiving that says, I love you, I love you, I love you. But you're not allowed to do that to me, right? It's like, that's love with a strong boundary, right? And easier said than done. So tell you what, let's pop up the picture. Let's see what else the guides show me, and take a nice deep breath. Magic clap. Because we start you off, my Cancerian, as the Samaritan archetype, the shadow attribute, exacting appreciation and recognition for the help you offer. We know people who do that anyway, but the Samaritan has that very strong divine family vibe here, refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. And what you want in this, perhaps this is somebody that you want to ignore, but have helped, right? Really, the word there is your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. So what it is that you want in this is really the Ace of Cups, a new beginning, a new happiness, maybe happiness for them as well as that would make it happier for you. But what you have to do that is to really go deep within yourself, that Scorpio card. As much as we can see that as a person, right? Perhaps a Scorpio confidant or somebody that you can relate to or work with to help you with this, it's going to come down to you feeling the emotions that might be very hard to embrace. Like, for instance, wanting their appreciation and recognition for the help you offered, right? Where it's like, oh no, that's not spiritual. Well, there can be a part of you that is just angry because it's not being acknowledged, that it's just pouring, what do they call, like a money pit, right? Like pouring money and help into somebody and never getting anything in return. Now, there is that selfless part of it, and that is what you're shooting for. But at the same time, that voice needs to be heard. That voice needs to be loved. And that might be part of your thing, that, right? Going back to integrating the ego, everything is for me, not against me, including that voice that may want very much appreciation and recognition. And really, in the mental field there with the Pisces card, there are some illusions in play here. And again, I don't think it's anybody's fault. Some of them might very well be, what's the word they're giving me? Not just societal or sociological, but generational. of how things should be, or even how things are, right? Sometimes we're not just looking through a glass darkly, we're just not even looking through a glass anymore. It's opaque with our own thoughts and beliefs. So to keep that in mind, that you might have some emotional thinking going on here, and to instead really go deep into your emotional intelligence, right? Because your emotional world here, right, the Two of Flames, is definitely you are feeling indecisive. You don't know what to do. This might be, darling, you gotta let me know, should I stay or should I go? Or even asking that of your own soul. And what's interesting is the voice of your soul is saying Ace of Pentacles. And you have the Ace of Cups in your element of fire, so you will get what you want here, but it might be just for you, because you can't ultimately make someone else happy. Except what we're looking at here with this twin, the gambler archetype, shadow attribute, relying on luck rather than hard work, probably upsets you, I would think, quite a bit, my Cancerian Samaritan. But their light attribute, willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you, well, chances are you have doubted them, and that might be part of that Two of Flames back and forth, is that you can't help it. You have this feeling of doubt where this person is concerned. But what they have in their element of fire is the card of the Star. So they are following their path to their best of their ability. They are following inspiration. They are perhaps following their lucky star, but perhaps they are, as the shadow attribute indicates, relying on luck more than hard work, which for a Samaritan might not be cute, right? But there is a major decision that they have to deal with to follow that star, to really fulfill what that hope implies. And that's the card of the Lovers there. Can they make a lovingly wise, powerful decision? Because acting on the gut is certainly what they're good at, light or shadow, hex or curse, as you will. But they need to really, really, really communicate themselves with more honor and integrity, that they may not be ready to make this life-changing decision just yet. Really, the only card on the table that speaks of anything overtly romantic, and even then the Lover's card is always about a life-changing decision. And their emotions are a bit turbulent with the Five of Swords there, but mostly because of words. And that's what's making me, again, look at that card of fantasy, that both of you might be thinking and feeling things that just aren't true. Your perceptions of each other perhaps at one point were accurate years ago if you are family members, or things that maybe you have heard. Now, I do have the Page of Swords here in the position of air. Again, that immature communication, which could be gossip, right? Could be stories, could be family legends of, oh, she did this and they did that and then they did that to them to get back, you know what I mean, family, right? Which is why I hate that tribal. So of course there can be some emotional tumult here if this is a family thing, but the voice of the soul is the Ace of Cups. So really a new beginning of happiness. So it feels like my Cancerian, you're gonna get what you want, and even their soul agree. Like, in other words, what you want, your element of fire, and the voice of the soul of your twin flame here are the same card, essentially, the Ace of Cups. But you have to look at, what is the fantasy element here? Where am I not seeing clearly? And what is it in my nature that does this? And what is the nature of this type of relationship, or the nature of what's going on here? Because if the nature of it comes down to I love you, and that these being very important words, as does say your higher selves, the higher selves of all involved here, then you can really get that this entire relationship that has gone on beginning, middle, up to this moment, and wherever it may end, everything is for me, not against me. That this is all part of the divine plan. It was all scripted. Both souls agreed to this contract, but at least for the month of the rest of July into August, we are looking at a very interesting opportunity for new beginnings that may not yet manifest, but the ground is being laid depending on your emotional work that you're doing, my Cancerian, and their life-changing decision following their inspiration. I know. It's a lot of information, but that's a contract for you, right? It's not just you do this, then I'll do that, and we'll do that, we're done. Not in this way, except we're going to help each other. We're going to teach each other how to heal ourselves. So May the Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need in their twin flame contracts from July, August, or timeless 2020, that they may heal, that they may grow, that they may deal with this fantasy, discover the true nature of things, use those healing words, I love you, because they are very important words, getting that they are integrating the ego and that everything is for them, not against them, for their well-being and for the well-being of all. So mote it be, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for watching. Please do like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and comment should you feel so drawn. Otherwise, I'm going to wish you the very best and the very blessed in your twin flame contracts, July, August 2020, or timeless. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.